famous women leaders of history, and man, this one is definitely one that we need to talk about here on the Self-Love Leader channel, and it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And you know what? A lot of us know a lot of stuff about her because of the fact that she made such a difference in our country. She made such a difference with women and women's rights. And of course, we honor her for those 27 years that she sat on the Supreme Court. But those years were magical. But I don't know if you know as much about her earlier years. And there's some things about her that made me think, wow, not only did she become a leader, not only did she make a huge difference, but she had to have gone through a lot of struggle and a lot of fear to get herself to where she ended up being on the Supreme Court. So one of the things that you might not know about Ruth is that Ruth's mother passed away the day before she graduated from high school. The day before. I don't know about you. My grandma raised me, and she passed away when I was 17, and it crushed me. The thought of, continuing and going on, which obviously I'm still standing here, so I did decide to continue and go on, but at the time, I just struggled. I struggled for a long time. It was really difficult to lose this mother. She was my grandmother, but she raised me, so she was my mother in my eyes when I was such a young girl. And for Ruth, she didn't just lose her mom. She lost her mom to cancer, and she lost her the day before she graduated from high school. A lot of people wouldn't have moved forward from that for a long time. But Ruth had something special in her. Ruth had a drive. It was a drive of love and a drive of determination, a drive that all us women leaders, want to have and grasp onto. So she went on to get married, to have a child, and to go to Harvard. So the year was 1956. She has a newer marriage and a 1-year child. So just a baby. And at the time that she gets accepted to Harvard, and by the way, 550 men got accepted to Harvard and 9 women. And do you know what she was told? Maybe you should give up your spot for a man. Because it's 1956, right? I want to remind you guys, really, what's it going to do for the world that you get a law degree? And so she was, badgered in a way to give up this spot for somebody else. And then something all-encompassing, heartbreaking happened. Her husband was diagnosed with cancer. Let me remind you, she lost her mom to cancer the day before she graduated from high school. When she went to school, and she did, she took care of her husband who had cancer. She took care of her 1-year-old. And not only did she go to school and do very well, obviously, she did become a Supreme Court justice, so she wasn't getting D's and F's, okay? She was really succeeding. But she had to support her husband, who was also part of Harvard. And so what she would do is she would come home, go to school all day, come home, take care of her child, take care of her husband. And then when the house got quiet at night, she would type up all of her lessons that she needed to type up for the following day. And I'm simplifying this because I'm sure it wasn't called a lesson, but you're rolling with me, I hope. But not only did she have to do that for her, she had to do that for her husband, who was too ill to do it for himself. So let me ask you, how afraid was this young woman? Can you imagine being in a situation where you lost your parent? Not just any parent, not that both parents aren't important, but I gotta tell you, it's pretty dang heartbreaking when you're young and you lose your mother. So here she's lost her mother to cancer. Now she is in Harvard trying to do what she wants to do with her life. Raise a baby and take care of a husband who has cancer. I can imagine she was scared to death. And you know what? That's why we're talking about her today. We're talking about Ruth because she did things when she was scared. She did things when other people would have stopped. She moved forward in the most magical way and made this huge difference to our society, because even when things got hard, even when she was afraid, she kept moving forward. And that's what the self-love leader is all about. It's about, even when we're struggling with how we feel about ourselves, even when we think maybe we're not going to make it, maybe we're not good enough, or maybe some big challenge comes up in our life, we still take a step forward. One thing that Ruth said is, real change and enduring change happens one step at a time. Real change and enduring change happens one step at a time. What's the next step you need to take on your mission? I hope that Ruth has inspired you to not be afraid and to move forward. If you like this video, please subscribe. And you know how we end. It's always the same way. You are loved. Have a beautiful day.